Hey guys, it's Rob and I've finally seen Aquaman, so let's talk about it. This month's goal is 100 subscribers, so if you enjoyed this review for Aquaman, subscribe to Rob for more reviews like these. Aquaman stars Jason Momoa as Aquaman with the co-lead Amber Heard as Mera and directed by James Wan. Aquaman is one of those characters where it's always gotten made fun of by everyone till this day. There are people who still make fun of Aquaman, but I think after seeing DC's Aquaman, that won't be the case. This film had a lot riding on it. Justice League wasn't performing too well when it came out, and overall it didn't do too stellar. Now it's up to Aquaman to save the DCEU, just like Wonder Woman had to save the DCEU and keep it going until the next film. And I'm here to say it does. Aquaman was a very, very enjoyable movie, even with all the cheese included. The movie is fully well aware of how cheesy it is, and it uses it to its advantage. The slowdowns, the shouting, the octopus on the drums, it definitely knows that it's cheesy and it's self-aware. The action is over the top and spectacular, by the way, and it reminded me a lot of those over-the-top action scenes in God of War. Every blow, every hit, every strike could be felt throughout the theater, especially in the underwater effects. They emphasized the hits with ripples throughout the water, and it was amazing. Added on by the vibrant colors and the surroundings of the set, it was so fun to watch on screen. I'm this close to, instead of seeing Bumblebee today, I'm this close to just seeing Aquaman again. That's how much I enjoyed this film. Now, Jason Momoa as Aquaman was also great in his role. He brought a childlike, tough essence to the Aquaman character, and it served him well in this film. The character Arthur Curry was also great. Aquaman was not perfect in this film. He even says in the film that he's been getting his ass kicked this whole time, which I liked. If the hero won every battle every single time, I think it would get stale and boring. So the fact that they allowed Aquaman to be flawed and not perfect was a perfect touch to the character, and one that was welcomed to me anyways. And Amber Heard was okay in this film. Don't get me wrong, she wasn't bad, but the first act in the movie I wasn't really on board with her as Mera. But then the more I watched her and the more she interacted with Aquaman and her surroundings, the more I started to like her as a character. This was a very good iteration of Mera. Her interactions with Aquaman sometimes felt forced, but other times they felt very genuine and entertaining to watch on screen. Unfortunately, I do have to say the romance between Aquaman and Mera was kind of shoved in there and not really fully realized. I would have liked to see that more fleshed out, which we'll probably get that in Aquaman 2. That I would think they would try to flesh that more out, because Aquaman and Mera in the comics are a big deal and they're a couple, so it makes sense that they would want to try to flesh that out more. And you can't talk about Aquaman without talking about the CGI. Now, people were complaining about the CGI, that there was too much CGI shown in the trailers. Now, what did you really expect? Did you expect underwater superheroes fighting each other and people breathing underwater and talking underwater, or sharks or sea monsters? This is a superhero movie that's underwater. Of course there's going to be a lot of CGI, and I think it added to the movie. The set designs and just the overall representation and look of Atlantis and the movie was fantastic. Whether it be the vibrant colors of Atlantis or the dark undersea look of the trench, it was all fantastic. And also the costume designs were also really great, especially that costume that Mera was wearing before the Ring of Fire fight. That was a fantastic costume, and I would like to see more costumes like that in Aquaman 2. Now, the story of Aquaman was a decent one. It wasn't the best, but it served its purpose. They get to point A, then to point B, then to point B, and so on. And it's something that I expected, seeing as for a while now we knew this was going to have an Indiana Jones Raider of the Lost Ark feel to it, but I can't help but feel that they could have made some other decisions story-wise and structure to better fit this film. As for how Aquaman fits into the overarching DCEU, it's barely there. It has a scene where Mera comes up and she mentions Steppenwolf, and Aquaman also mentions the Justice League by calling them a group, but other than that there's really no connection that fits into the overarching DCEU, and it serves the film well. You don't have to have a connection to the DCEU. You can have a nod here and there, and then it's fine. It didn't add or take away from the movie. One thing that did take me out of the movie a few times was the green screen. While most scenes with them swimming were great, a lot of times it was very noticeable, which is unfortunate because the green screen, when it isn't noticeable, is glorious and amazing to watch on screen. It fit with the movie well, but when it wasn't working, it was pretty noticeable. Overall, Aquaman was a great film. It's fully aware of its silliness and uses its strength, and while keeping the comic book vibe of Aquaman 2, it creates an amazing world that I would like to visit. I hope they double down on this in Aquaman 2 and make it even more amazing than Aquaman 1. But that's just my opinion. Tell me your opinion down in the comment section below. Did you enjoy Aquaman or not. And for more DC movie reviews, subscribe to RoboRob, and I'll see you guys in the next video.